Sunshine Taylor. I'm a former school social worker turned founder and CEO of Financial Joy School, a tech-driven financial education and gaming company on a mission to close the racial wealth gap. In 2012, I suffered a traumatic brain injury that changed everything. I lost my career, my income, my direction. I was on the verge of homelessness with no savings, no investments, and no generational wealth to fall back on. That season tested me physically, financially, and emotionally. Until one day, parents of a former student taught me about compound interest and long-term investing. Those lessons gave me a whole new world. In 8 years, I went from a negative $15,000 net worth to $487,000. And I found my calling to ensure Black, Brown, and disabled families build generational wealth no matter our income. Before that moment, I was clueless about investing, and I was not alone. Only 34% of Black families own equity investments compared to 61% of white families. And if nothing changes by the year 2053, the median net worth for Black families will be zero. I reject that dismal reality. So I built Financial Joy School, combining social work, game design, and cultural pride to teach generational wealth building through play and diversity. Our signature product, the Legacy Card Game, walks players through real-life financial decisions, careers, savings, stocks, and more. Our platform goes further, offering videos, workshops, and the Generational Wealth for All toolkit, and it works. We have increased comprehension from 31% to 100%. Willing to invest jumped from 53% to 79%. We have sold over 15,000 decks. We have partnered with US Bank, the NASDAQ Entrepreneurial Center, Black Girl Smile, and even lit up the Jumbotron. We have been featured in Forbes, CNBC, and The Motley Fool. But just as our impact grew, DEI support vanished, funding stalled, promises faded. So I made a choice to build generational wealth for the people, by the people. I started a GoFundMe to help raise money. As a double HBCU alumna of Virginia Union University and Howard University, I know the power of an HBCU education. Now I'm on a mission to ensure that our education comes with a generational wealth plan, because we deserve more than student loans. My family, your family, and everyone deserves better. We are the solution. I won't roll over because DEI rolled back. Please share the campaign, contribute if you can, help us ensure the median net worth for Black families will not be zero. I am Ruby Sunshine Taylor, and I joyfully approve this message.
Thank you, girl. All right, we're gonna keep right on ticking. Next up, using nature to save the bay and our environment so that the water we drink, the food we eat, and the places we go in Baltimore City are safe for generations to come. Next up, Larry Davis and Great Mechanics, everybody.
How y'all doing today? All right. I'm Larry Davis with Green Mechanics. We're not fixing cars, We're fixing nature through nature. Show of hands. Raise your hand if you had to run water at home today or during work. All right. Raise your hand if you remember last year here in Baltimore where they said it was safe to swim in the harbor. Raise your hand if you remember 24,000 fish showing up dead in the harbor last year. Then you want to pay attention to what we're talking about at green mechanics around water pollution. So every time it rains, that water is collecting pollutants right here in Baltimore and in Maryland. And those pollutants cause algae to grow. And too much algae causes situations like 24,000 fish showing up dead in the harbor. It's drinking water, it's recreation, it applies to every one of us. And so despite billions of dollars to solve this problem, we've only got a fraction along the way. And so with green mechanics, we're offering a solution to the pollution, where we specialize in collecting and harvesting algae in a nature-based way. Feel free to pass it around. And every time that we collect algae, it's an indirect way of removing those pollutants so that way we have safer recreational and drinking water. And when we look at current solutions like putting in ponds and green spaces to help deal with pollutants, they're more costly and they're only getting a fraction of credits to really deal with pollutants. So when we harvest algae, we're getting 2 to 3 times more credit impact for about half the cost. And so not only that, we're taking that algae and figuring out how can we develop other products to be solutions, such as taking that algae and turning it into fertilizer, turning it into concrete, to name a few. And so right here in Baltimore, we have a plan of getting 10 of these systems installed in the next 2 years. I like to call them kidneys for the bay, so we're trying to get 10 kidneys going in the next 2 to 3 years. And since we started in 2019, we've been able to get several awards from Governor Wes Moore, as well as start pilot projects throughout the state, so that way we can validate ourselves as leaders in the space. And should we win tonight for this award, this will help us to validate our algae product of choice, responding to more government bid opportunities, and looking at some potential patent potentials. And we got the team to do it. I got started with this business because I secretly snuck into my professor's class, and he let me stay, and that's how I got introduced to this stuff. And so from there, we were able to start this business with a full team of folks to get the job done. So that way we can make nature's solutions available to humanity's problems. So with that, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Already let's talk about the wealth disparity that exists in Baltimore, right? And let's talk about how dangerous our environment, is, and how sacred the Chesapeake Bay is to our everyday lives, right? So already in our first 2 presentations, you're seeing how our teams are directly affecting the problems that are impacting us the most right here at home. And we're gonna keep it going. Next up, an innovative solution to stuttering and a way to improve speech therapy to help people be able to communicate to the best of their ability. Adi and Elopium.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Ali Khanifri, founder and CEO of Open.
Well, that was made before and after for the over 70 million Americans around the world, they face a challenge every time they talk. They aren't sure how their speech will sound when it leaves their mouth. Whether that be they're ordering coffee or even they're just saying their own name. And that's why we made we made it a little bit. The struggle with speech therapy is that, one, it's hard to track the projects that you are making. Two, speech therapy can be very expensive and it costs over $200 per session with very little support from health insurance. And three, there's no objective feedback on speech therapy to rely on subjective measurements. And that's where Eloka comes in. Our digital platform allows you to objectively track your speech and be able to see the improvements that you make, no matter how small and incremental. And best of all, it's available to everyone, regardless of your social or economic background. So the way Eloka works is that you, as a user, upload a recording of your own speech, and our machine learning model is able to objectively track the number of the disfluencies in your own speech and provide objective insights which you can work on. So for example, if you are someone who stutters, you're able to see the progress that you made, no matter how small, in incremental, which improves the confidence that you have in your own speech. And if you have access to a speech therapist, they are also able to see all of the subjective information, which transforms speech therapy from being subjective to being objective, which improves the effectiveness of speech therapy. Our machine learning model has 90+% accuracy, and you're working with local Cohort speech therapy clinics to bring this to market. With your support, we will be able to turn our platform and go to market with HIPAA compliant infrastructure, so we can start to impact people right now. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man, we're gonna go around the club, guys. I'm in work for the courage to stand up here and do that. And to build a solution for your own problem in real time, right? And live with that. You know, they not only impacting his life but others around him. Great work. All right, we're gonna keep on going. Oh, before I do that, I wanted to take time. I saw people standing or looking for seats. If you have a seat next to you that is available, could you raise your hand? I got 2 seats in the front row over here. I got a seat in the front row. If anybody is looking for seats that are seats, you can come and have a seat. And they are bringing more chairs as well. All right, so just give us a second for transition if anybody is looking for a seat. Don't be scared to sit in the front. And as y'all come in, we're adding more seats, and there are some seats available. One more time, if you have a seat open next to you, could you just raise your hand? Thank you. All right, we're gonna keep on going. Next up, I thank social impact founders in general, but especially this founder has an unconventional company and is an unconventional founder. And probably one of the most determined founders I've ever met, as he travels back and forth from Atlanta weekly to be in the program, consistently engaging, helping his fellow cohort members and building a solution. And I think it's fitting because that's exactly what he's trying to do with his business, is help his fellow cohort members. So without further ado, Sean Pat.
Be More Designable. We're a design studio leveling the design playing field for underrepresented founders of early stage startups, who we love working with because we enjoy building tech in the earliest of stages. However, we saw firsthand how much harder it was for underrepresented founders simply because the founder journey is not built equally. One challenge is product development, because it's one thing to build the right product, but it's another thing to build the product right. Something that is not just functional, but it's usable, accessible, and delightful for users early on. This is what you call user experience or UX design. And creating exceptional UX is hard for everyone, whether it's a lack of expertise, time, or capital. And these challenges are exacerbated for founders already under-resourced. And let's be honest, when founders consider design support, they have options. Each design option strikes a fair balance between cost and how much they're vested into the long-term success of the startup. The best options land somewhere here, where the startup gets the most vested interest for the cost of service. And we land here because we figured out a way to act as an extension of the founding team without the large cost. How do we do this? Through fractional design support, UX research sprints, and how our partnerships are structured. We go in, set up their UX systems from the ground up, which isn't provided by competitors, and we work with them until they see their first successes, whether it's the launch or secured investment. And as our partnership progresses, so do the successes of our underrepresented founders. So for those who are building with limited resources, we help you look like you're not, and without the large overhead. All this to bring more visions to life. Yet that still begs the question, why now? Product development has never been easier, thanks to the AI boom, raising the skill ceiling for some and lowering the floor for others. Although product development has never been easier, product differentiation has never been harder. So we want to make it known that when everyone can build, design decides who wins. But don't just take it from us. We work with over 20 ventures, including pre-launch to seed stage startups and more, including 4 ventures out of our SIL group. In 3 years, we're hoping to support at least 15 founders per quarter, and way down the line, we'll be just another design agency. In the worst case scenario. More realistically, and in the best case, we'll see impact here shown in green, where we have partnerships with startups and ESOs. And see some of our earliest portfolio companies exit. To help us help more underrepresented founders, we're humbly asking for intros and connections to ESOs so that we can help more underrepresented founders in their programs. We're also welcoming investment and donations to help subsidize costs for more underrepresented founders who can't pay now, but can pay later when they succeed. We're looking to see more outcomes like Logan, who after working with us, got into BW Tech and Towson Startup Accelerator, securing him $10,000 to further his impact right here in Baltimore, and get him one step closer to his dream. If you're wondering what we can do for you, please ask. Thank you.
Thanks so much. I'm gonna take the time, Sean just made something very evident to me. And I want to speak to the power of community in the cohort. I didn't say this before, but our cohort is comprised of both Johns Hopkins students and folks from the community at large. And what I often find at Social Innovation Lab is folks come from the community with so much experience, so much tie to the community, they know how to create change, that's solving problems that they've experienced, but they may not have technical skills like an engineer. And then you get Hopkins students who have all the technical skill in the world, right? We're looking at solve problems too. And we get the opportunity at SIL to put them all in the room together, let them work together and build solutions alongside each other. And one of the things that stood out to me the most was on Sean's slide about the teams that he worked with. He's already got an opportunity to contract to work with 4 founders in this cohort. And so that's the power of community and connection that we like to see and that we champion here at Social Innovation Lab. All right. Oh, next up, I see all our students in the background smiling as they saw the slides come up. Another story time now. We have it's Corey. Where's Corey? I just want to shout Corey out. So Corey is a part of a founding team that's going to present a little bit later, right? SNTS Labs. Can't wait for you to hear from them. But she's also a graduate of Johns Hopkins University. She's also a native of Baltimore. And she was also a student in Coach G's program when she was in high school. So Coach G has been doing this work for a long time, working with young women to improve outcomes and guide them on a path to success. So without further ado, Coach G and Coach G Academy.
Pick a person that gave you the confidence that you could accomplish anything. Raise your hand if it was a woman. Now open your eyes. I actually could have bet you it was a woman. Because 84% of people who had any level of success had a female teacher, mentor, or coach who cultivated their leadership skills and engaged in education. Now, here's a 13-year-old me. Can you believe that I was asking somebody to serve food in somebody's middle school hallway? It wasn't until a beautiful black woman with 3 letters on her chest literally snatched me up when I was about to start fighting and said, "Do you want to do something productive with all that energy?" And then write me separate. And that invitation changed my life forever. Why? Because I was able to actualize my future. I graduated high school and college with honors, and I found a coaching academy. And our mission is to use that to engage you in education, leadership, and mentoring. Now, if you would have told the 13-year-old me that I would be doing this transformational work and featuring an award-winning documentary, all because of that invitation to that practice, I wouldn't believe you, because at that time I just didn't want to go to class. But what I can tell you is there are thousands of girls in Baltimore City who are making some of the same bad choices I was or worse. And it's because of lack of access to mentorship and spaces where they feel seen, safe, and heard. The problems that we're solving are issues that disproportionately impact girls of color, ages 11 to 19. We combat depression, obesity, crime, and bad academics. We change the trajectory of young girls' lives. In Baltimore City, the high school graduation and college retention rate is well below the state's average. We believe that disrupting that will change outcomes. And we are the solution. We are, with our preeminent mentoring program and our citywide step team, we are arming girls up with confidence, leadership skills, exposure, and improving educational outcomes. Now, in 2020, we served over 214 youth across our 3 programs. Our summer program, for the 5th year we'll be happening, we partnered with over 15 schools, and our award-winning citywide step team has had 100% college acceptance and high school graduation. One of those graduates have reported that they feel more confident because of the program, and that they have gained transferable skills they use in the classroom, on college campuses, in the workforce, and in their communities. Actually, 3 of our alumni just graduated this past weekend with honors, so let's give that up. And 75% of them are in college currently. One actually goes to Hopkins at BYU. And the other 25% have chosen entrepreneurship and workforce. It has been proven that girls who have mentors have better outcomes. So we need you guys to step up today. We need $35,000 to fund our summer program this summer, in order to change the trajectory of young girls' lives. And if you believe in this, then you believe in investing in women. So say it with me, invest in women. Invest in women. Invest in women. Because when you invest in a girl, you invest in a nation. So when the world of love and hip hop basketball out of the Bad Girls Club, where do we find our Oprahs, our Michelle Obamas, our Alicias, our CGs? In Baltimore, by changing and investing in women. Thank you.
There you go. There you go. That's amazing work. We're gonna get into some shout outs after that. Amazing work, man. That's so impactful. We'll need it in our communities. One thing I'll also add that she forgot to say, she is looking for space, y'all. They need a place to train, they need a place to practice. So if anybody here has access to space, please find her. All right. Before I get into SIO alumni shout outs, I said I was gonna do this at the beginning, so I'm gonna do it now. Sephora, can you stand up? We wanted to give a shout out earlier when you weren't here. This program would not be where it is today if she wasn't a part of it, so we appreciate all that you've done to help us get here. Just last year in our 2023-2024 cohort, Amari Jeremiah, the next generation language access, was sitting up here presenting. At that time, we had 1 partnership with the Baltimore City Schools. Since then, he scaled to 4 of the most linguistically diverse high schools in Baltimore City, training people who learn English as a second language to be trained interpreters to work in their community and to be able to get jobs. Their interpreters are used at Baltimore City Schools, for CEO community conversations with multilingual families, and also used by the mayor's office. And they're doing so well that they already are working on 2 contracts in, the state of Ohio that they'll start at the end of this month. So scaling and moving all around. Marty's in the back of the room. You know, it's important, next generation language access, please find them at the end. For my first cohort, 2023, phase 3 training has been doing great work in the city of Baltimore, Montgomery County, and Beatty County, and workforce development and training, young people in the trades. And they're doing so well that they secured 2 contracts with the city of Philadelphia, totaling $420 in revenue. Now, who says social impact organizations couldn't make money, all right? These are social enterprises that are building real revenue models and making impact every day. And last but not least, we are gonna give a little bit of space for our winner of last year's SIL, Cohort Showcase. Leah Harrison is meeting you, sir.
Every birthing person deserves to
Actually,
feel
let's talk a
safe,
little bit about.
seen, and supported, and every doula deserves to be trained in a way that reflects the communities they serve. Sweet Bee Services is a Medicaid-approved doula agency offering personalized fertility, birth, and postpartum doula services, as well as doula training and mentorship. We maintain a network of professionals to ensure every family we serve receives wraparound care. This is Sweet Bee Services, where doulas are expertly trained, families are personally supported, and relationships are at the heart of our care. Because we believe that excellence is the level of care you deserve. More than a doula, a village.
That is good. See what people do with that SIL Showcase money? I wanna give Leah just a few seconds to tell us about what's been going on since last year's showcase.
Everybody. I am honored to be here to share about the impact that we've been able to have over the last year. In particular, for the 6 months after we finished SIL, we were able to really double down and build out our systems and operations so that we could scale appropriately. So we are now a Medicaid-approved doula agency, which means that we can expand access to anybody who has Medicaid in the state of Maryland, which means if you're pregnant, you have your and fit certain criteria, you can get services for free. We also have phenomenal because that helps us to reduce the rate of maternal mortality in the state, and our ratings are really bad. We also secured a partnership with MedStar Harbor Hospital as one of 2 Black-owned doula agencies that are specifically supporting the Cherry Hill community to make sure that we can keep people alive and build community relationships sustainably. And I'm really honored that we are working on a partnership in Howard County and in Baltimore City to provide scholarships and training support for doulas so that there is wraparound care for people to build sustainable careers as birth workers and healthcare workers. So we've done a lot, and I'm really proud of it. Thank you.
Thank you. Amazing work. I'm so proud of our alumni as they are now out in the community doing everything we talked about during the program. We're gonna keep pushing forward because we are a little bit behind on our schedule. But before I do that, if you have a seat next to you, could you raise your hand one more time? We got some folks looking for a seat. You're looking for a seat. There are a few here. I'll give folks a second to move. How we feel? Y'all still feeling good? Energy still high? Let's go. That's the first 5 down. All right, next up. I actually had the pleasure of working with this team as a strategic advisor. I'm truly inspired by their work, seeing a problem, and instead of trying to fix it for a group of people that they were unfamiliar with, they decided to build alongside them. And what amazing work we can do when we do that. So I'll let her tell the story better than I can. Without further ado, May Lee and Floro. Yeah.
Hey, everybody. My name is Lee, and I will be presenting on my nonprofit called The Sparrow. So this project started with a woman named Margaret O'Retch. She was on her way home for the holidays, and the bus that she was on ran over and detonated a landmine. Margaret lost her right leg in the blast. Luckily, she made a full recovery, and since then she's been working for the Health and Human Rights for people with disabilities, founding the Uganda Landmine Survivors Association and doing advocacy work around the world. She was being honored as a member of the Women's Peacemaker cohort at the University of San Diego when she talked about how the hardest part to adjusting to life after the explosion was using a pillow tree. And so here are two pictures of a pillow tree. They are simple holes in the ground used in many parts of the world in place of a toilet. As you can imagine, if you don't have full use of your legs, you cannot use a pillow tree in a safe, sanitary, and independent manner. So when Margaret was giving her speech, I was a member of the audience as a mechanical engineer undergraduate, and I was really inspired by her story and thought that I could help. So I spoke with her after, and we got to work. And we went to Uganda for the first time in 2015, packed our check bags as prototypes, and then returned 3 more times with different student teams, iterating on the design each time using feedback that we collected from users. So through those trips, we found that the design requirements are that it needs to be low cost, portable, made with locally available tools and materials, socially acceptable, and then for many of our users, it also needs to serve a dual purpose as a mobility device so that they can independently get to the pillow trees in the first place. And although we are working in rural Uganda, this problem is not isolated to one part of the world. 2.4 billion people across the globe lack access to improved sanitation, and 1.3 billion people experience a significant disability. And this leaves millions of people at the intersection of those two problems without a dedicated solution that meets their needs. And I'm happy to say that so far we've been able to deliver 450 assistive devices across rural Uganda. We've been able to raise $50,000 to complete the previous design and distribution phases, and we have a 97% satisfaction rate reported by our users. And so we've been starting conversations with other organizations that are working in the space that have the same mission as us to improve access to sanitation. And on that note, our next steps are to seek partners in funding. $15,000 covers 1 year of operations that includes salaries to employ people with disabilities to manufacture the devices and material costs. So with that money, we would be able to build an additional 320 devices over the next 12 months. Money goes a long way in Uganda, and with our solution, it goes even further. And so you met me today, and you know Margaret's story. Her and Lawrence are people on the ground that are making a difference every day. Thank you very much.
Amazing work, Amy. It introduced me to a problem in the world that I didn't know existed. And I'm so proud of the work she's going over to solve. Okay, we're gonna keep it rolling. Ooh, Kiera, is up next, and I remember she applied to Social Innovation Lab last year, and I felt like she was a little upset when she didn't get it. But she came back, and I watched her throughout this process be one of the most dedicated, hardworking, collaborative, and helpful founders in our cohort, and the work that she's doing in education to help young people graduate debt free is definitely worth all of the shine that she's gonna get as she moves forward with this project. So without further ado, I'm gonna invite Kiera and Free Money Meister to speak.
Hi, hello everybody. I didn't think Anthony knew that when I stood up. All right, so I am here for Free Money Meister. It is an AI-driven scholarship platform. So my personal story is 5 years, 2 degrees, $0 in student loan debt, all funded through scholarships, grants, fellowships, and a $30,000 student loan paydown. So I have a question. Who in this room has ever had student loan debt? Please raise your hand. I am not anti-loan, okay? It is a vector for being able to get an education, I will say that. But it is a problem. In our nation, on average, there's a $37,000 student loan debt that each American tends to have from college, $37,000. In the state of Maryland,
it is $43,000. I mean, granted, we have some amazing schools in this area. And for African Americans, nationally, it is $52,000. Ruby mentioned that wealth diversity gap. We have some things that are really holding us back here. So, my solution, on our platform, we are looking at the attributes of an individual, things that some people forget about, like is the person tall? There are scholarships for being tall. Are you a male? Are you African American, minority? We're piecing all of these things together because there's money out there. There's scholarships that go unclaimed, but people don't realize that these scholarships are applicable to them or where to find them. So we align them with that on our platform, and we use cute little bubbles to do so, to prioritize and tell them exactly where to start, which most scholarship platforms do not give that level of information. We also emphasize local scholarships to ensure that we are spreading the knowledge on scholarships that are hard to find. In our MVP, we've had over 40 students who won over $300,000 in scholarships. We've even partnered with Coach G Academy, and one of the Coach G Academy girls told me today that she won a Maryland-based scholarship, and so we are winning scholarships for our students in this community. Matter of fact, Brooke Cole, my very first student ever, she stayed in our program the entire time of her undergraduate career at Morgan State University, and she graduated completely 100% debt-free.
Yeah.
With over $50,000 in wins, and probably more, it's just hard to get that from the girls when they win, but over $50,000 in wins. And what does this do to our community when you have access to education that you don't have to worry about paying for? Well, if you get this education, you have over $220,000 in spending that you can do in the area because of the fact that you have a bachelor's degree alone. And then let's talk about what happens when you don't have that debt. That frees up $325 million for our community because we do not spend that money on debt, we spend it in our communities. So these are things we have to be mindful of. So tonight, if you vote for us, there are things that help with that scholarship journey. First and foremost, getting students on our platform so they know that there are scholarships out there. But we would use that funding to support our free offering, which is a recommendation letter tool. It's a foundational thing that you need when completing scholarships, but most people don't realize how often you need them when you're completing scholarships often. Matter of fact, some regions don't even allow the students to see the scholarship letters, which then impedes the scholarship they can go after. Our platform has a solution for that to toggle the fields. So if you vote for us tonight, it will support that. And it will support the regional growth. In general, I just want to say thank you all for being here and supporting us tonight.
Thank you, Kiara, that was amazing. All right, we're gonna keep on pushing y'all because we're behind. I'm gonna start telling so many stories. Next up, Anthony is another person that I think has given a lot of himself to the cohort, and I appreciate him for that. He also takes that same energy to build safe and healthy workplace cultures and nonprofit organizations, and helping nonprofit leaders and workers to not have burnout, to have less stress, and to feel less lonely. Without further ado, Anthony, man, you're welcome on.
I started working in the grocery store right down the road, Mom's Organic Market in Hampton. And there was an evening that I'll never forget. It was about 10:30 p.m. We just closed up the store, and my manager called us over the loudspeaker and had us gather in the produce aisle. So about 15 of us were standing. And she picks up a lemon off the shelf. And she looks at us and she says, "All right, team, tonight we're going to practice our connection question. Where do you see goodness in the world?" emergency goodness. And she tosses the lemon out. And for 10, 15 minutes, people were opening up, people were connecting, were sharing. And then my manager brought the lemon and she opened up about how she was having a difficult mental health week. How it was tough for her to just get into the car and to drive into the store. But she told us what got her there was thinking about supporting us. And she was just about to put the lemon back when one of my coworkers to the right of me said, "Here, pass me the lemon, pass me the lemon." And the lemon soared across the space of my coworker, plucked the lemon out of the air. He turned to my manager and said, "See the goodness in you. Thank you for everything that you do every day to support us." And in that moment, in unison, all 15 of us were clapping and cheering. This was the first time in over a year of working in the store that I felt connected to my coworkers. A few years later, I was reading the Our Epidemic of Loneliness and Isolation advisory by the top doctor in America, our former Surgeon General, Dr. Vivek Murthy. The report said that 1 in 2 adults in America are lonely. So about half this room. Half the people in your neighborhood. Half the people in my grocery store. The report also said that lacking social connection is as dangerous as smoking up to 15 cigarettes a day. Lacking social connection is as dangerous as drinking 6 alcoholic drinks daily. In America, there are over 97 million lonely workers, and I was one of them. Until that evening in the produce aisle, when my team tossed around the lemon, that meaningful moment of connection happened because I trained my managers in the store how to connect our team. And since founding Evolving Minds in 2020, I have trained thousands of leaders in hundreds of workplaces right here in our city and across America in our nonprofit programs that educate the general public about the enormous benefits of building community and social connection. But one of the greatest challenges that I have faced in scaling our impact is that currently there are no foundations funding solutions to address the workplace loneliness epidemic. But we're going to change that. With $500,000, we can open up an entire field to impact hundreds of millions of people. I'm seeking to partner with one foundation or philanthropist to advance the field of social connection. Thank you.
Thank you, Anthony. Great job. All right, next up, I'll just start by saying this. If you are an African American person and you ask them where they're from, especially in Baltimore, they'll probably say North Carolina, South Carolina, or Virginia. What they won't say is that I'm Nigerian, or I'm from Senegal, or I'm from Ghana. Because before 1850, we black people weren't even counted on the census. And through slavery and systemic oppression, we have been systematically disconnected from our history and our culture, and it affects the way that we learn. Asia, Carrie, and Crayons and Culture is changing that with their culturally affirmative work to reform education for black and brown people around the world. And she went to Howard, y'all, like me, so you know. So without further ado, Asia, Carrie, Crayons and Culture.
I want you to imagine in 10 years, what would Baltimore City look like if we invested in education sovereignty? Now I want you to imagine what it would look like if we didn't. Good evening, my name is Asia Carey, and I am the Executive Director and Founder of Crayons and Culture. I am the proud mother of an 11-year-old Baltimore City Public School student who attends Roland Park Elementary Middle School. I personally attended public school pre-K through 8th, where I skipped 4th grade and was in gifted and talented education, and then had the opportunity to go to an international college prep boarding school in Danville, California. From there, I graduated from Howard University with my BBA in business management. And then from a practicum standpoint, my practicum education, I was an enrolled intern where I interned in New York at MetLife for 3 years in the International HR Business Leaders Department. I'm a 2012 Baltimore Cohort for Teach for America member, and I taught 3rd and 5th grade in Baltimore City. I also taught in Oakland Freedom Schools. So all of that to say is that I have a comprehensive analysis of what high quality, immersive, and cultural education can look like. So when we think about the problem that we are seeking to solve, there's really 3 main components. One, there is a federal attack on public education, higher education, and critical thinking in general. There is an overdependency in our communities on government-funded education. And lastly, access to privatized education is limited, unaffordable, and often comes at the expense of cultural identities. Our solution is a systems-wide solution for a systems-wide problem. Crimson Culture is the grassroots education solution whose vision is to raise a generation of liberated and socially conscious citizens who construct and experience a world that is universally free. Our mission is to universally liberate and academically activate Black and Brown children in Baltimore City. We do this with our 3C model, curating experiential learning opportunities, centering cultural identities, and cultivating community connections. This last picture is the student of one of our volunteers who recently crossed Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated Alpha Gamma chapter with, and one of our high school students from Western. So we're made connections. These are part of our community connections that you see. Our current programs involve both in-school programs and out-of-school programs. We recently received funding to launch our very first summer camp. We're really excited about that, the Creators Culture Lab, which will be happening at Morgan State University this summer. And we also have an early education program that focuses on 0 to 6, our little grassroots play group. Here are some of our programs and events recently. And here are some of our babies and our students. Our vision. So immediately what we're looking for is 2 15-seat passenger vans so we can connect our students to opportunities without transportation being a barrier. We're also looking to build our board of directors. So if anybody's interested, please come talk to me. In a couple of years, we're looking to get into the ed tech space where we are able to scale our impact beyond geographic borders. And within 7 years, we want to see that systemic impact that we talked about, where Baltimore is the hub, the epicenter for education sovereignty and Black intellectual thought, a modern day Mecca, a modern day Timbuktu. Currently, we have developing programs really focused on the talent side. So our workforce development initiatives that this funding would support would scale our impact, right? By building and supporting teachers who are in schools with the Black Teacher Capacity Project, or our community educators through our Cultural Education Fellowship, we're looking to decentralize education and put the power back into the hands of the community. With that, I want to say thank you. And if you would like to connect with us, these are our QR codes. You'll see some around the building, LinkedIn, Instagram, volunteer, or donate. Thank you so much.
All right, let's keep pushing. We got one more, then we'll have one more break and our last presentation. So we're getting closer to end, y'all. I think y'all for keeping our energy up so much for our teams. Alright, next up, another one of my favorites, and I would say a Center favorite altogether. Tom and his team, Mr. P, Corey, all here, has not only, taken advantage of all that they can get out of the accelerator, but has gonna be above and beyond and found their way all over campus, all the professors, all of the students, and just taking full advantage of this program. Humble, a learner, always ready to take the coaching. And right here from East Baltimore, what they call down the hill, the self-proclaimed leader of the Vikings, Antonio Tom Moore in the SNCFA. Yeah, Tom!
Alright, y'all. Real quick. Who remembers their first social media post? Raise your hand if y'all was born before the internet. Alright. Now, would y'all ever imagine a life where social media would take a life? I'm Tom, 1/3 of social media trust and safety labs. I want y'all to meet the other Tom. Tom grew up with me in East Baltimore. We both love using Instagram with our friends. While we share our name, we can't share our future. August 11, 2023, Tom was shot dead while working. Days before Tom's death, several social media posts on Instagram mocked Tom's dead friends and threatened harm to everyone around. These posts all bypass online safety tools meant to protect users. So, since then, several social media companies have sued content online that causes damage and harm offline. Meta and other platforms since 2021 has spent close to $500 million in outsourcing AI safety tools and hiring human reviewers at a rate of $50 an hour. It was clear with all this investment, talking with Meta safety teams, these resources didn't understand danger for our Black and our brown kids. So if the people and the systems and the tools paid to protect us and understand us to protect us, who can? We can. That's why we building a community solution for a community problem. We building a machine learning tool trained to detect content online that indicates harm offline and makes these insights available for social media companies, safety teams by subscription. See, kids from the same hood and block as me and Tom, we know the difference between a trend and a threat. We can spot the difference between a post and a call to danger. So that's why to train our machine learning tool, we developed a local trust and safety information network. That's a local workforce, a wide and straight off the block that we train and hire as online reviewers. See, our network does more than just flag content. We are early warning system for violence. The groups like Safe Streets and other community safety. See, AI, they can flag posts, but it can't feel attention, right? So that's why since 2023, we put the best thing to work to make this happen. See, our competitors like Accenture, like TaskUs, who currently being used by social media companies, they all rely on third-party databases and research to inform their tools, but none are based off community reporting. And they cost social media companies up to $50 an hour and $500 million a year. But that's where we come in at, right? We built an amazing team since then, co-founder 2, Corey Granger, JHU grad, and the Google Research Program Manager, co-founder 3, Harry Simon, 30 years software veteran and our product manager. We made significant headway since Tom's death. 2023, we partnered up with YouTube for an official content creator activation here in Baltimore, and of course, an amazing partnership with the #1 public health school in the world, Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School, and then we got to work. 2024, we managed and hired and trained our first online reviewer, but we licensed them for Safe Streets, and they had created over 892 posts that caused murder or taunted murder. And of course, an official invite to the White House alongside YouTube to announce their policy change on youth and guns. We built an amazing network of supporters and stakeholders across different industries. My man, Zuma Boss, the head of Black Music from YouTube. Daniel Webster, the #1 researcher in the world on gun violence at the Bloomberg School. And then, of course, our amazing strategic advisor, Tasha and Rafa, right? And now we ask y'all to join us, right? See, every murder that was solved using social media can be prevented using social media, right? We want y'all help and holding us, y'all audience over the choice support, help us stop phones because of terrorism. Thank you. Raise your hand and then y'all know. Give it up for the mom. I give it up for all the mom. But y'all know this was this Mother's Day weekend, you know, and I had, the honor of picking up my new obituary from Tom, you know, and me and Paris, my other co-founder, we both lost our mom last year to cancer. So this Mother's Day is very special. We thank y'all for all y'all do. And for all the moms or sons who've been murdered, you know, this one for y'all, so thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
If you can hear my voice clap once, if you can hear my voice clap 2 times. All right, y'all, we're ready to get started again. Get ready to get started again. Let's go circle back again. Thank you. All right, let's do it. All right. So. Next up, I'm bringing to the stage. Making Baltimore more healthy, every water lemonade at a time. And he's brought those tasty treats with him, so make sure y'all go visit him at his table so you can taste these wonderful snacks. But I'll let him tell you more about that and his campaign to improve health for Baltimore City residents. Without further ado, Joseph and Jay Water Lemonade.
Hello, everyone. My name is Joyce Moore. I'm the founder and chief hydration officer at Jay's Water Lemonade. And I'm really excited to share with you all more about my mission to hydrate Baltimore in a heart healthy way. But before I do, I want to ask if you all can put a hand over your heart. If there's nothing else that you all take away from our presentation, it's to take better care of your heart, because every 38 seconds, someone dies from heart disease. It's a leading cause of death in our communities. More than half of our population suffers from a risk factor being obesity, high blood pressure, or smoking. And additionally, African Americans are more likely to develop high blood pressure, one of the leading risk factors of heart disease at an early age. And I was once in that position. When I was 20 years old, I pretty much had a day where I learned I had to take better care of my heart. After years of dealing with chronic stress from traumatic childhood experiences, a diet high in fast foods, added sugar, I was diagnosed with pericarditis, and really had to make a difference if I wanted to really continue to avoid a reality for so many of losing our lives, our fathers, our mothers to heart attacks during pregnancy, traumatic experiences due to a lack of knowledge, hyper access to sugary foods and salty foods. Really leading, affecting so many of our population. But what I was not aware of was that my favorite childhood fruit, watermelon, which many of you might have had before, could be transformational for my heart and also yours. So from the American Heart Association, I came across this study that showed watermelon has a high amount of L-citrulline, which has been shown to reduce the risk of heart disease. And on this day, a light bulb went off in my head. I know growing up, we were used to sodas, sugary drinks, just all over in our school, sugary milks, contributing to our risk of these. But what I found, watermelon treat that so many enjoyed, could actually play a role in reducing this risk. I wanted to provide a heart healthy beverage option using no added sugar, no preservatives, and really a hydrating alternative to many of the drinks in my community. So how many of you all are already conscious about sugar, trying to reduce or lower your sugar intake? Yeah, so about 50% of consumers are already conscious about this and aware, looking for beverages with no added or reduced sugar content. And how many of you all might work out, like run regularly or exercise? Okay, yeah, we just had a lot of steppers, their heart was really running. So what's also great about our beverage is the amount of electrolytes. One of our blends has coconut water and pineapple. Not only is it a refreshing beverage option, but there's added electrolyte content to support those of us that regularly work out. Watermelon has also been shown to support with muscle recovery after workouts. And one of our other target customers are local nonprofits and organizations that also desire to work with local businesses. We manufacture right here in Baltimore in the Green Mountain area. And so there's a growing market or an existing market and need demand for this. And the growing market is more and more people are starting to become aware of the risk of sugary drinks and looking for healthier beverage options. And so how we get our products to those consumers, I'm grateful to have a profit or a business model where our margins are between 60 to 76% gross, and that leaves with an operating margin of around 30%. So not only are we able to make an impact, but able to do so in a sustainable way, where our profit enables us to really invest in additional needs to support and grow our mission. And since launching, we've been profitable since February and continuing to grow and looking at around a 30% increase in revenue this year. And so outside of that, well, since launching, I've generated close to $50,000 so far, but outside of the financials, I'm really excited to share this about the impact I've been able to do from what started as an idea to starting my kitchen to a commercial kitchen. That has included really hydrating over 5,000 Baltimoreans by way of going to local pop-up events, getting into catering and really drawing their presence to people at those. Since then, I've been able to work with 4 youth from Baltimore City Schools, hiring them to work in the commercial kitchen and support at pop-up events. We'll also work with numerous other nonprofits and organizations to help promote our healthy beverage options. In support of other local minority businesses, $15,000 through the commercial kitchen, minority owned, our suppliers, often local growers, as well as our marketing, advertising, and needs as well. So outside of myself, I have an amazing team of others, including advisors that have a combined 30 years plus of experience in manufacturing and CPG, along with support organizations like Innovation Works that continue to supply me with the resources, mentorship to really make important decisions in terms of scaling and growing my mission in Baltimore. But most importantly, those that I desire to impact are my community. And that is you all. I see a future in Baltimore where we don't have to really suffer from preventable conditions, but it's unfortunate that despite this knowledge, often everywhere we go to, there's often sugary options. And my desire is that there is at least one option like watermelon available at every event, every school, every household in my community that's just as refreshing, just as good, but actually good for our hearts. In order to do that, a way that you all can support us tonight, we have a QR code where you can offer suggestions. Consider Jay's Watermelon at an event you might have at your school or a community event. And with the funding, recently I came across a manufacturer that can really help us quadruple the rate of our production. We'd be able to launch online delivery options with the truck as well, local delivery to commercial facilities like global food establishment rods, which we intend to partner with. So thank you all. Feel free to check us out at our station where we have samples of Jay's Watermelon. Learn more about it. Consider us a partner, collaborate. And yeah, let's help make Baltimore a healthier city, a healthier community, really preventing conditions like heart disease, diabetes, so that we all have a more healthier city for kids, youth, and all of you all.
Thank you, Joyce. And we ran out of food a long time ago, so that's probably your only option. But definitely want to go out and the beverages definitely do what they're supposed to do. I'll admit. All right, we're gonna keep right on going. Next up, using technology to help immigrants find opportunities to work, while also providing your everyday community member with opportunities to do the tax and things they need done. Without further ado, I am Kuswas. Yeah, honey, man.
Hello everyone, my name is Ayo. Everyone has a skills, not everyone has a platform. How many of you believe that? Not everyone has a platform. Yeah, so 3 years ago, moving to the United States, my PhD program, and it was difficult, like fixing my desk, my bed, getting the house painted, even getting like someone to even carve my head up, understanding. But fortunately for me, just like a month or so after that, I met Mr. Howard, a neighbor. I saw him at the backyard fixing bed and then fixing shelves as well. I said, like, after a week, I saw him covering his son's head, so it was a black man. And when I approached him, after we spoke, if he could help me and things like that, I discovered that he has lost his job about 2 months after that. But just imagine having those skills and I'm looking for, who to help me with that. I couldn't get, I've been able to sustain this family. I introduce you Coursework, where everyday skills meets real opportunity. But before I can tell you more about what Coursework is, let's even itemize this problem as a whole, so that I'm not even going through this as a whole. So one is, we have over 40 million immigrants like this, so we have limited access to income opportunity. We also have exclusive people who are exclusive from traditional gigs. At the same time, there's that cultural readiness that they get it so they understand my hair, or even an Indian person that understand how to do my hair as a whole. So those are the problems. And not just me, just like we have here, Angela Mensa, who is like, Mr. Howard, who can braid hair, who babysit. And still, she couldn't, have the constant income to sustain her family. She has to go to the grocery store, to talk to people that and make hair, or she has to do word of mouth, and telling friends and all. But with Costco, she can, easily reach out to people in her community and make ends meet for people. So our solution, which is Costworks, connecting people, helping these skills which everyone can do here. At the same time, direct booking, we give you that really grand cultural matching to whatever you want, whatever activity you want. At several points cost with lights and verification as a whole. If you ask me why now, we have a growing economy of gigs, we have consumer demand growing all the time. Cultural fit really matters. We have Indian, Chinese here. There are things that are peculiar to your culture, peculiar to your need, that you can get if you find someone within that area. So what's our business model? Our business model is like free access, as low as 9.99% of every transaction you make based on the customer you get, which makes it easier for people to make money and pay without any stress as a whole. How does it work? It's really simple. You just need to sign up, verify yourself, and you're good to go. We have people like some tax rabbit, and all our more competitive advantage is designing for immigrants like myself and some people here, and then that cultural relevance among other things. Right now, for customers, we have over 500 users sign up, which I will be giving you the barcode at the end for each sign up. We've tested with over 50 users for the beta and alpha tested, and we've gotten good reviews so far. You can see on the chat, and we've submitted to App Store for final review as well. So we asked for 100 receipts to help us push finally to the market. Of course, our MVP is coming out soon, so your vote, the money will go a long way to reach our vote. Currently, we're a team of 5 people, including myself and Daniel, the co-founder. We're second-time co-founders. Our messaging platform in Ghana got acquired this year by a private entity. So, thank you. Yes, I just wanted to thank you very much, and I just wanted to see Coursework not as a company, but actually as a tool for everyone to survive, make money out of themselves. I'm single parents, helping, mother, your father, supporting them with your livelihood and everything like that. So everyone here decides to make money out of their skills, and so how they live up their life anymore. Thank you very much.
Great job, Io. Thank you. Make sure that I look at that. Myself, I used to cut grass growing up. Are you gonna keep on pushing? Next up. Let's see. Using technology to help doctors and patients better identify risks when medicine is prescribed. None other than Dr. Hosty. And she diagnosis.
Consider Sarah, a 44-year-old mother of 2 who was just diagnosed with blood cancer. Doctors can prescribe her Revlimid, that's a chemotherapy drug, a blockbuster drug may cure her cancer, but unfortunately it has very severe side effects like a stroke. And the problem is when she asks what is my risk for showing this side effect, the answer is very scary. We don't know. Adverse drug reactions are the 6th leading cause of death and causing $100 billion annually burden in just the United States. And we cannot predict them in the individual level. That's why we cannot prevent them. Diagnosis is an AI platform that we use thousands of patients' data, and we can predict the adverse drug reactions based on the patient characteristic. Let me walk you through the MVP that we have, and you can see what do I mean. So first, as an input, we get the age demographic data, here red limit, and then more lifestyle parameter that is very important. And the more important part is precondition and existing disorders and drug and medical history. And voila, we have 50 different side effects. We can predict 50 different adverse drug reactions, completely personalized. As you can see, febrile neutropenia is a very deadly side effect. For this individual, it's 6 times more. So in that way, we can completely predict in an individual level all the side effects that they can show. And we have 50 different prediction models. Each side effect have one model. We can affect on the physician size and patient size. Physicians can prescribe safer alternative drugs for high-risk patients and also implement preventive measurement before side effects occur. But for patients, we can educate them and increase their level of awareness. Our go-to-market strategy is patients, direct to patients, because we want to show what kind of side effect they need to concern about and which one is not that much concern. They don't need to be concerned about them. And also, one other thing that we want to really address here is healthcare inequity. Unfortunately, we have some area that they don't have access to the healthcare. So we want to target those patients and bypass this institutional barrier to innovation and deliver critical information to underserved community. We patented our model, we published our paper, we have our application, and you can even see it later. With hypnosis, we want right now to focus on the clinical trials at Johns Hopkins Hospital. And hypnosis is not just about the product. We are creating a new standard for medication safety. So one day soon, less people die of preventable tragedies. So with your help tonight, you can be part of our mission and save more lives. Thank you.
All right, we're gonna keep pushing. We almost done, y'all. 2 more, then we gonna vote. Is that all right? Okay. Next up. How many currents we got here? You gonna give me these? You know, what tough it is when you first, especially your firstborn. And I'm gonna let Rob come up and tell his story about the problem that he experienced with his firstborn, and then a solution he created just for that. All right, without further ado, Robert and yeah, Rob.
My name is Rob, and I'm gonna give you all a brief story into why I founded my company, Genesee and Love. So, November 8th, 2017 was a day that I'll never forget. It was the first day at home with my firstborn son. And we were doing our first skin-to-skin session. And as I held him against my chest, I felt his body lock up. He stopped breathing and the skin turned red. In my mind, I panicked. But instinctively, I gently bounced him and patted his back. Then roughly 10 seconds later, he passed gas, pooped on me, and was back to normal like I've never had. Too often parents experience an overwhelming struggle from trying to comfort their child, which is why I've been named that new parents restaurant. Nanny is a tool that allows parents to input vibrations to see their child. Nanny version 1 can be controlled manually with a gentle tap. Nanny version 2, we showed there that both Nanny version 1 and version 2 will come with military grade radiation block fabric. Yeah. The purpose of developing and designing Nanny was to number one, soothe crying newborns, reduce gas pains, promote movement of gas, and promote normal sleep status. Through extensive research and hard work, 2023, I received my patent. We currently rated $500,000 so that we can safely and efficiently get the market as soon as possible. And,
Technical difficulty.
I hate to have to see myself.
It moved.
Yeah, here's my team, just very supportive people that help every step of the way with everything that I need. And, Nanny is the future of caregiving. Thank you for your time and your attention.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. No battery. No, I don't think it's quick. Okay, here we go. All right, y'all, we made it to the end. And I'm
excited to announce the last team that's gonna present. I also had the honor of working with them as a strategic advisor. And got to witness firsthand all of the great and impactful work they are doing. I think this is an area that doesn't get enough attention. In addressing parole reentry and what happens to folks when they come home from prison. So without further ado, it is my honor to welcome Ann. But before I welcome Ann, I just gotta say, I know y'all heard that loud voice at the end of every presentation screaming outside. I'm super excited to bring up this team. Ann going back to prepare for parole. Yeah.
So I am Ann Pack, and I am the co-founder and director of advocacy for Prepare. I am the formerly incarcerated co-founder, and I did the first 5 years of my work behind the walls of MCIW, Maryland's women's prison, and have continued to scale since I returned home. Because 3,403 people came home from state prison last year. But 715 of them will be back before the year is over. There's a lot of problems with reentry, from bias to social reintegration to not knowing how to use technology. Everyone's reentry is different. And it's expensive. It costs $60,360 a year to incarcerate one person here in this state. And there's a 21% one-year recidivism rate, which means we're paying over $43 million to reincarcerate people that come home from prison and go back. And it doesn't have to be that way. Prepare has 121 people in the community. After a very long pipeline, we have a 1.7% recidivism rate, which means this year we saved $1.4 million. If we could serve everyone in the state, we could potentially save Maryland almost $40 million per year. We Prepare our 501c3 with a mission to empower people to make their best case for parole and develop and execute successful reentry plans. That is a long pipeline, and it needs to be, because you're guiding people along a path to a better life in the community. We start early with materials on the tablets, in print in the libraries, workshops in the community, workshops behind the walls. And we help people directly answering their questions, developing parole packets, and help them learn how to present to the parole commission. From day one, we are guiding them to do positive things with their time behind the walls. And then we are helping them show the parole commission how much they've changed and come home early, saving you that $60,000 per year. Then we have Prepare for Home. Prepare for Home is where we have early support for reentry planning. We have early support for reentry planning prior to a parole hearing or prior to a release. DPSCS just does it about 6 months prior to release, which does not help you at a parole hearing. We do an assessment, we build an individualized and robust plan that includes everything down to the food bank and the clothes bank you can go to. And we have a personalized reentry coaching once people come home to follow up on that plan that we built. So we're not just leaving you, we're picking you up on the other side with a peer recovery specialist. We follow you for the first year, we have a lifetime open door policy, we don't turn our clients away. We have a lot of traction and connection with the state, with community partners. We work with DPSCS, we work with the city. And we are building the future of reentry needs assessment right here with Be More Design Pool. We have an AI project currently being built to do a lot of the administrative tasks of building those reentry plans. So our human peer specialists can focus on those human connections and getting people home efficiently and saving us money. But this is the dream, right? This is the dream to have a successful person come home in the community working with one of our peers. And this is the dream right here. Somebody who has come home from the community, and here I stand almost 3 years later, telling you that we need to support people when they come home, not just because we don't want them to go back to prison and cost us money, but because we want them to do stuff like this and better our communities. Thank you so much for investing in our dream.
Okay, give everybody that was in a round of applause. Thank you for yourself a round of applause. Thank you for being attentive. Thank you for your energy. But we're not quite done yet. Now you know we gotta vote. All right? So you are going, it's your turn to vote. You're gonna vote for your top 2 teams. There is a description of every team represented tonight on your sheet. You're gonna pick your favorite 2. All right, when you turn, you're gonna turn in your ballots to Kudra and Tashneem up at the front. If you do not have a ballot, we can give you one, so please raise your hand and let us know if you need a ballot. All right? The only people that are allowed to vote are people in this room tonight. You get to decide 2 $5,000 winners. All right, so over the next 5 minutes, go ahead and vote, turn in your ballots. You can bring your teams at the vending table, we'll get your Central Watermelon. And we'll be back in a few minutes to announce all of our winners. If you like tonight, maybe you're proud of working on the social impact solution. Maybe you're a funder or you want to donate. Maybe you just want to come to more cool events like this. You can find all the work that we do here, powercenter.jhu.edu/social innovation lab. You can follow us on Instagram, and I would definitely suggest that you subscribe to our newsletter. We post funding opportunities, connection opportunities, and events that we're hosting here at the Power Center. So make sure that you connect.
I think she's taking a picture of, oh, she does, we're about to get it.
Before I start talking, as he's talking. I'll make an announcement.
Gordon.
Something announce the winner. Please where you are.
All right, everyone, so I want to make sure one thing is really crystal clear. Okay, 2 things. One, every team here tonight got $5,000. Again, that is all possible thanks to the generous alumni and friends of this program who are giving back to you.
And so I charge you winners here tonight, and every team here this evening, we want you to go out and be wildly successful. And then, when you're wildly successful, you're gonna come back here and you're gonna give a surprise for next year's cohort, right? Okay, the second thing is that our help, our community, our connection does not stop here tonight. It just begins. And so we want to make sure you know our door is open, our email inbox is, well, far from empty, but it is there and waiting for you to reach out. And we want to help support you and connect in the years, months, weeks, decades to come. And with that, I think we're ready to go ahead and start making some announcements about our prizes. So again, decided this evening, our 2 Audience Choice Awards that you all just picked right now. And then we have 2 cohort prizes, additional money, that is gonna be given out. This is the cohort decided who to give the money to. All of this money is non-dilutive, meaning we do not take equity and we don't charge any of the startups that we're in here tonight money to be here, which is pretty cool. And I love investing in our neighborhood like this. All right, here we go. Can I get a drum roll on your seats, please? Our first Audience Choice Award goes to, well, this is the shocker. Come on. All right, Donna is gonna announce the next winner.
All right, so I had the pleasure and incredible honor of announcing our second Audience Choice Award, and that is to the revolutionary leader of the YNs.
At the end, to announce the second place cohort prize, none other than Baltimore's own Anthony.
All right, y'all. So every year my cohort, well, not every year, I'll say the last 2 years, my cohorts give me a whole bunch of flack about this cohort prize award. And when you put the onus on the cohort to pick someone who they think from their cohort that this money would go the furthest to impact their community, someone who gave the most to the cohort and showed up, and someone who they believe in and are inspired by. So we are very excited to announce our 2 cohort prize winner. We're gonna start with second place. Oh man, this makes my heart smile. No other than Kiera and Free Money Mike, bro. Excited to pass along the mic back to Canal, where you will again founded Social Innovation Lab as a student so many years ago. So to announce our grand prize cohort winner.
Thank you, thank you.
This is my number 1 vote here. There we go. So just before I do this, I want to say 2 small things. When we started, I'm glad it's become $5,000. When we started the accelerator, it was $1,000, and that was coming out of my pocketbook as a grad student. The other thing that we hoped is that when SIL became a part of Hopkins, that the community would still be a part of SIL. And I think today is a great reflection of that. And so everyone here is a winner. Baltimore is a winner. Our award is a winner. We thank all of you. So with that, I'm very happy and very grateful to announce the winner. Prepare.
In-person sessions, showing up on Saturdays, bringing your kids along, whatever it took, you did. I'm super proud of all of y'all. I can't wait to see how we work together to continue to be impactful in Baltimore City. To the audience, thank you for coming. Please be connectors. Please be donors. Please be board members. Please be supporters of these organizations as they work to be impactful in our communities. Thank you and have a good night. Make sure you put up
Congratulations. It's good to go to sleep at night knowing that you're able to so many positive things. Congratulations. I thank you for letting me be a part of it.
Thank you for starting it, man. We're getting it on.
Hey, after these goes down, let's catch up with Scott.